There's Connor, man, Morgan's son, cruising around on his Hoffman bikes, 12-inch right there. It looks awesome. So Connor, man, let me see your bike, dude. That is the coolest bike I've ever seen.
All right, Decade Boomerang. Never have landed one of these, but get this. If you're watching this and you want to learn how to do a double Decade, I think there's not a single how-to on how to do a double Decade because they're really hard. But also, I think I figured out the secret on how to do them. I saw one person do a Decade to Boomerang, and I slow-moed it down, and when he does the Boomerang, it's like if you slow-mo that Boomerang and then you slow-mo the Decade, the footing that he does, it's very similar to doing a double Decade. So I think if you're trying to learn how to do a double Decade, you got it. I think that's the way to do it. So, I don't know, I could be wrong, but let's see how close I can get. Okay, so for the Decade to Boomerang, I've never landed one yet, but when I saw this dude do it, he does the Decade. You don't leave your foot on the pedals, you don't land it. You land your first foot right here, you balance it out. You take this foot off and you put the other foot that's supposed to land on the pedal right here, and then you push off right here, just like a double Decade. That's what you do on a double Decade. So you push off right here and then go into a Boomerang or a flail. So let's see how close we can get today, because I'm feeling a little bit more confident. It's also like you gotta land and try and land your foot right here. I might have to put a little marker. Let's see it. Also make sure that if you're running the cable, I didn't spin my cable that time, and I would have just messed my cable up. Let's see how a gyro. This is why people run gyros. Okay, so we're doing, okay, yeah. It's very awkward, because like when you do a bunch of Decades, you start just, like when you first learn the Decade, it's so hard to land, and you're just like, oh, I just want to land it. But then this is the weird part, when you try double Decades, it's like you're intentionally not trying to land it. And it's really weird because like sometimes you want to get that really big torque just so you can land it. But when you attempt double Decades, it's like you're intentionally not trying to get to land the front end down. It's really strange. I don't know if that describes it well, but I legitimately think I'm going to do it pretty soon here. See, I could do something like that. You just got to be fast with the Boomerang. That was on set right there. Let's observe. Let's observe what we are doing. That was a pretty good one. I think that was my best one I've done, I think, ever. Oh! Yeah, I'm super slow. You got to be so quick at it, but dude, this is how you learn double decades. I think I figured out the secret that nobody's saying. Because there are decade instructions, I mean decade how-tos, but they never go into the double decade. It's like, why? Why don't you guys go into the double decade? So I've been stuck at the single decade for years. Like, this is actually, the decade was one of the first flatline tricks I learned. I feel it. It's about to show up. It's about to be accomplished. Pretty soon here, I think. Oh, messed up. Boom. Decade. It's kind of akin to doing a double bar spin. I can't do double bar spins, but the footing is the hardest part about this trick. The footing. All right, right here. Why am I putting my foot on the peg right here? That's what I'm messing up. I keep putting my foot for some reason on this peg. I need to just swing it around. All right, no foot on the peg. Oh shit, oh that's scary. This one's actually really hard. It's kind of weird now. Huh, I'm questioning myself if I can even do it anymore. I know it's one of those tricks that, like, it seems like you can do it at first, and then now that I keep thinking about it, it's like actually really challenging for me. Ah! Yeah, that's actually a little different than huh. Alright, right here, just Boomerang. So I have to do this after the decade. The problem is that with the decade, I'm wondering if they land it and move a little bit, or do they land it and then just go right into it? Because the problem now is that when I do boomerangs, I'm moving a little bit and then I do the boomerang instead of just stop boomerang.